An emergency fund? Psh, I can barely pay my rent. Extra money? I don't have that. You want me to work additional jobs? I've got the secret for you from taking small amounts of money and learning to create a substantial budget. Let's get into it. Friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Steve, the Frugal Father. I hope that you all have been making money, saving money, and investing money. In today's video, we're going to talk about how small steps can lead to a substantial emergency fund account. Now, what do I mean by substantial? That's different for everyone. That could be $100 all the way up to $20,000 and everything in between. So I know that growing an emergency fund can feel daunting, right? You're just trying to make all your ends meet, your car payments, your rent, your mortgage, your utilities, all that stuff. And at the end, you may have no money left, right? You may be trying to put things on credit cards just to survive. But throughout this lesson, I hope to tell you some ways that you can try to start saving small amounts of money to give you that momentum, that success, and that motivation to get you on track. Step one is to understand where your money's going. You've heard these things probably 100 times if you've watched lots of financial YouTubers out there. But it truly is key. When you start tracking every single dollar from spending, birthday cards or presents that you may have gotten from the dollar store, or a spur of the moment cup of coffee that you stopped at your favorite coffee place to pick up something warm to drink, and everything in between. It really gives you a true picture of your finances, your money, and where everything is going. Because that way, you're looking at it and saying, oh, that's where my money went. Oh, I didn't realize I spent this much at the dollar store, whatever the case may be. So there's apps out there, Mint. Your bank might have one, or a spreadsheet, simple old spreadsheet. Or you can go even old school and write it down on a piece of paper. Literally, daily, every penny that you have made, write that down. And every penny that you spend, write that down. And you will see where it's all going. All right, from beginning of the month to the end of the month. So, once you have that written down, then you can see where you can cut and then where you can save. Step two is to set a realistic emergency fund. All right? So, experts out there say 3 to 6 months. I actually disagree with that, and I'll tell you why I disagree with it. I think you should have 6 to 12 months. And the reason I disagree with it is because hopefully I'm sure you all have been seeing headlines of stores closing, Big Lots, Macy's is closing stores, banks are closing branches, and the list goes on and on and on. A lot of times people are hit with unexpected news, right? Something's closing, some layoffs are happening. As employees, we're not always in the know until we're called into an office or a group meeting and we're told all this information. So that's why it's always important to have 6 to 12 months of emergency funds ready for you to use. Again, what your emergency account looks like when you start this process, it is going to be very different for every single person because personal finances are personal, all right? My initial goal was to save just $5 in my first month to give myself the motivation, the encouragement, and the goal of achieving that goal. And I did. And then the next month, I doubled it. And then I went on, so forth and so on, until I hit my savings goal. And that savings goal was, again, I think I did probably, I wanted to save, in my first year, I think I wanted to get to $500 and I achieved it. By my second year, I wanted to double it. And then I just kind of kept rolling. Again, expenses and emergencies do come up. So remember, you will have to keep replenishing that account. All right, step 3 is to trim your budget. So once you've written everything down, you should be able to see where all your money is going. All right. Do you have an unused subscription account, whether it's a Netflix or food service or maybe even a gym membership? Really look at it and have you really used it? And if you haven't, it's time to cancel it, guys. It's just time to cancel it and time to save that money so that you can take those funds and put them in that emergency account. Another quick win is meal prep. I know I talk about it all the time, but it is a huge lifesaver and game changer. It prevents you from running to that Chick-fil-A line or that McDonald's line or Subway or wherever you get your takeout from. I highly recommend trimming your food budget as well. Going to those grocery stores, looking at the clearance racks, looking in the meat sections, and the manager has marked down stickers on products that are set to expire that day or the next day. They mark it down, 40, 50, 60% off. So that's a huge savings right there. And then you can just throw it in the freezer and it's still fine and it's still good. And you just pull it out and cook with it that day that you defrost it. So definitely recommend those things for your budget to, again, keep you on track. January is always a great time to look at your budget because it's kind of a slower time. We've come off the holidays. We're going to slow down. Winter's here. It's cold in a lot of places. So it's, again, another great time to do it before we get ready for tax season. Step 4 is to automate your savings. I am so glad that direct deposit came out. Zelle's out there. All the different things are out there for us to automate our savings. I do always recommend more than one bank account because it's so easy to transfer your money from, if you have one bank, from your savings account to your checking account and to spend that money. But if you use a second bank for your savings account, you are definitely going to not be as inclined to go to that bank unless you're using some online tool like Zelle to transfer the money. Plus, if something happens to your bank account, something gets frozen or hacked or whatever, you at least can go to another bank that's your emergency fund over here and hopefully access your money. So I definitely recommend automating those savings. And you can always change those amounts a lot of times on at work on your platforms that you use. You can automatically, once you have it set up with the routing and accounting number, you can automatically just go in and change your amount that's coming out of your paycheck. So quick and easy, another fast win. Step number 5 is to increase your income. Sometimes you do have to ask your boss for a raise. Sometimes you do have to switch companies to get a new opportunity with a higher pay, and that's okay. But sometimes you really like your job, you like your coworkers, but those increases aren't covering, all your expenses, your savings goals, your retirement goals, all that stuff. That's what happened to me. I love my coworkers, I love my job, I love what I do, but the increases just aren't enough to keep up sometimes with inflation. Again, savings goals, retirement goals, paying for kids' education, all that good stuff. So what I've done is I've picked up what's called a side hustle, basically a second job. And I've learned to enjoy it because I'm gaining skills. I'm gaining skills that I don't normally use in my everyday 9-to-5 job. So for instance, YouTube, I haven't been monetized yet, but it's a long-term goal and strategy that I'm starting to put in place. I use apps, Field Agent, Mobi. I go into stores and I do small jobs where I'm taking pictures of the paper goods aisle, or I'm taking pictures of pasta sauce, pasta boxes. Again, they're small paying jobs, but again, those funds can automatically go into my savings account. Another thing that I've started to do is UGC, user generated content. I'm on different apps like B-Roll and Join Brands where products or companies are out there looking for creators to create short clips to be authentic and organic about their product and why you love using it, what the benefits are, things like that. So I've been doing that as another source of income. My personal goal is always to have 3 or more sources of income coming in. That way I can divert a lot of those additional sources of income to savings unless a bill comes up that I need to use that money to pay those bills. So Get out there on those side hustles. I'm all about it. It does not take a ton of time. Again, I have a family, a 9 to 5, a dog, so my time is very limited, but I make sure that I'm putting in at least 1 to 2 hours a day, whether I have to wake up a little bit earlier. And I'm not a morning person, but I go and get it done, or I'm going out on my lunch break, or I'm going out or doing the work at home when my kids are in bed. So you can make it work, and I definitely recommend that to help you with your savings goals. Step 6, to continue that motivation, give yourself milestone markers and celebrate those small wins. So what am I talking about? So remember how I talked about my first month was saving $5? I celebrated that win. I made a chart, I checked it off. I actually went out and bought myself, I do like desserts, so I went out and bought myself a small dessert at a grocery store just to celebrate that win, to give myself grace, congratulations, encouragement to keep moving forward. So remember, whatever your win is, celebrate it. Whether it is literally just checking something off in a book, or whether it is going out or making a small treat. So remember, motivate, find yourself a small reward to keep yourself going. Finally, step number 7. Once you've built up enough money in your emergency fund, move it to a high yield savings account or a CD. Make sure that all that money that you have worked hard for, whether it is trimming your budget, bringing in other sources of income, however you've gotten that money, make sure that that you have your money making money, okay? That's how we continue to try to beat inflation and grow our wealth, okay? Well, everyone, that's it. I hope you guys have found this video helpful, encouraging, achievable. I know that you can hit your goals. Remember, personal finance is personal. It is achievable for everyone, okay? If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe, comment. I love to engage with my community. And I'll see you guys in the next video.